The question is saying that I should use the least square approximation to find a straight line, a parabola to the data below, and find which is more appropriate. Now, how do you do this? Let's start with the A. And already I've done something concerning the A. So this is a straight line. So the formula of a straight line will be y equals a0 plus a1x. Is that okay? And with this, we said that first thing should be equals, from the formula we proved, equals n a0 plus a1 summation of what? X I. So name this one equation 1. Before you have a0 and a1, you have to look for another one. So you simply multiply x through this one, and that will give you xi yi equals, once you multiply this one by x, the n will not come again. So here it becomes a0 summation of xi plus a1 summation of x squared I. So we name this one equation 2. Now after getting this, the next point that you are going to look at is search for a summation of x squared, and summation of xy, summation of y. So you simply draw a table for this. So I have my rule here. So let me draw my table. Good. So this side is x. Then we have y. We have x squared. So y, x squared, then we have xy. So our x was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and our y was 120, 90, 60, 70, 35, 11. So my x squared, 1 squared will be 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 16, 25, 36. So I'm going to multiply this one by this. 1 times 120 will still give you 120. 2 times 90 is 180. 3 6, 180. 4 times 7 is 3. 4 7 is 280. Okay. 5 times 25. Please, you'll be using your calculator. 175. Then 6 times 36. That will be 66. Let me verify something here. Okay, so 6 times 11 will give us 66. 5 times 35 is 175. 4 times 70 is 280. And so on. So this is what we have. So per what we have here, let me bring it up. The board is not enough like that. It means that if I come with my summation of y, so I have to sum all this thing up. So let's sum it up together. We sum the first one, I'll have 2, 1. The second one, I have 3, 8, 6. Then we have 91. Then we have 1001. So we start with summation of y. Where's our summation of y? 386. So we have 386 is equals to a0 plus x. Oh no, I'm picking this one instead of this. So n is the number of times. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that will be 6a naught. 6a naught plus a1 is x is what? Summation of x, we had 21, so 21a1. Then move to this one, xy. Xy is 1, 0, 0, 1 equals, our a naught is now x1, or summation of x is 21, so 21 a naught plus x squared is 91 a1. So if you get this, you use your calculator. You have to use the calculator and use it well. Use your calculator, you are getting your a naught to be 134.33 and your a1 to be negative 20. So you are just going to substitute these values into this. And how do we do that? Wherever you see this a naught, you put it there, and a1 you put it there. So our final answer will be y is equals to a naught is what? 13, okay, 134.33 minus 20x. So this one becomes our line. So looking at example 2, this parabola. So we have our equation to be like this is a parabola. You know, parabola means quadratic, so we have to get to the highest degree to be 2. Okay, so we have to form our simultaneous equation. But for us to know the number of variables we are going to deal with, we have 1, 2, 3, 3 variables. So it means that you are going to get 3 of them. So first one, as usual, from the formula, I have yi equals, so we have n a naught plus a1 summation of xi plus a2 summation of x squared I. Now we want second one. This is for first. We are moving to the second one, so we have to multiply through by x. And when you do that, xi yi equals, so my a naught will come here, summation of xi plus a1 still here. So I'm just multiplying through by x. So xi squared plus a2 x cube I. Another one, that will give you xi, but here will be squared because if you multiply through by x again, yi equals a naught summation of xi squared plus a1 summation of x squared I plus a2 summation of x cube I. So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 equations. This will help us because we have 1, 2, 3, so they have to be 3. The first one, the linear was 2. That's why I have to find 2 equations. So now that we have this, you need to draw a table that have y, summation of, that have y, xy, x squared y, x squared. Yes, so that's the table we are going to draw now. Okay, so this table will be quite big, so let me clean this side. Is it that find which is more appropriate? You talk about that. So for now, let me draw my table here. So This will be our x. Then you have y. You have x squared, x cubed, x power 4, xy, x squared y. Is that okay? So our values of x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so our value of y, you have 120, 90, 60, 70, 35, and 11. So having this, we just go and substitute this one into the parabolic formula that we have, or the parabola formula, which is y equals a naught plus a1x plus a2x squared. So my y is now equals to my a naught is 136. My a1 is negative, so to make this side become negative, which is 85 over 4x. Then my a2 is 5 over 28 x squared. So this is for the line, so the parabola that we can fit into the squares. Okay, now the last question said, let me check the question from you. The last question is to find which is more appropriate, whether the parabola or the line. So let's look at how to go about that. Then x squared will be 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. X cubed 1, 8, 27, 4 to the power 3. So let's do it together. 4 to the power 3, we have 64, 5 cubed 125, 6 cubed 216. So x to the power 4. So for the x to the power 4, we have we have 1, 16, 81, 256, 625, 1, 2, 9, 6. Then xy have 120, 180, another 180, 280, 175, 66. Then x squared is we have 120, 360, 540, 1120, 875, 396. Now let's look at their total. The total of this is 3411. Then we have 1001. We have 2275. They have 441, 91, 386, 21. So these are total for them. So that's their summation. Now that we have their summation, what next are you going to do? The next thing to look at is just to substitute in them. And this thing we have been doing it, so it's very simple for you. So the equation 1, we have summation of y equals this. Let me clean this side. I don't want to clean the question, brothers. this equation I have to clean the question. So if you look at this one, the first one, summation y, 386, so I have 386 equals, n is the number of terms, there are 6, we have 6 a naught, x, summation x, you have 21 a1, a2, that is summation x squared, we have 91, so plus 91 a2, so equation 1. We go to equation 2, x, y, so my xy, this xy, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, then a naught here is going to be 21 a naught plus 91 a squared. X cube, where's our x cube? 441, so plus 441. Now, this is a1, so a2, equation number 2. Then we also move on to the last one. X squared y is 3411. 3411 equals 91 a naught plus 441 a1 plus x to the power 4. We have 2275 a to equation number 3. So this one, you just put it in the calculator and your answer is there. So if you do it very well, we have our a naught to be 136, our a1 to be negative 85 over 4, and a2 to be equals to 5 over 28. Okay, so let's look at this. But this is the last part of the question, where the question asks you to find which is more appropriate. So which of these? This is what we have already solved for the equation of the line. That's why I represented this one by L. Then the equation of the quadratic or the polynomial. That's what I represent here by Q. Which one of them will be the best way to estimate or fit a line? So before that, we know this thing already. This is our x, and this is our y. Y of L of x means that we have to substitute the values of x into this equation. So that's what you'll be doing. So let's substitute the value of that into it, and let's see. So you take your calculator and be doing it. Whereas I also do mine here. So if I do that, first one you have 114.33. Then you substitute the 2 into this, and that gives you 94.33. Then you put 3 there. If you put 3 there, you have 74.33. You also have 54.33, 34.33, 14.33. Then this side too is when we substitute the value here into this. So how do you go about that? So here will be 120 into this. You have 114.93. Then the next one will be 94.21, 73.86, 53.86, 34.21, 14.93. Now, this is y minus y L, here is L, y L x. So the y L of x is this one, and the y itself is this one. So what I'm going to do here is that I'll be subtracting these ones from it. Please let me make some correction here. Here we are subtracting the value of x, rather not the value of this thing into this. It's x, so here I'm rather putting the x into this. So it will be 1, 2, 3, just like how I substitute into this. Okay, from here, the next thing you're going to do is that you're going to subtract this from, that will be y minus that. So 120 minus 114.3, they write it here, the same thing. 120 minus 114.93, write it here, this side, that's one. So looking at this, the first one, if you subtract, remember there's a square here. So whether you get positive or negative, it will take care of it. So we subtract, have 32.1489, and this one to subtract this from this, and that one we have 25.7194. Okay, so we move to the next one. That will be 90 minus this. That will give you 18.7489. And the next one will be 17.7602. Then we also have the next one. The next one will give you 205.3489. Then we also have 192.0204. Then the next one we have 245.5489. Then 260.5918. Then the next one we got 0.4489, then 0.6173. Then last and the final one we have 11.0889. Okay, 11.0889. Then we have 15.4337. The total of this, or the summation of that, the summation of this is going to give you 513.334. Okay, the 3's are 3, 4. Then the summation of this square, this also give you 512.1429. Please take note, I'm saying that the first one, this side and that side, we only substitute the values of x. So you substitute the value of x into this and that will give you this column and that column. For this column, what you do here is that you subtract, so 120 minus 114.33, then you square it, it will give you this, the same thing, 120 minus 114.93, you square, it will give you that. That's how we need to get this column 2 and that column. Then you add both of them. Now, to know which one of them is the appropriate, what you do is you compare. You look at the one that is least. You know, these things are error. And if the greater the number, the higher the error there. So if you look at this one, which one of them have the least number? The linear one is having 513, and the quadratic one or the parabola one is having 512. It tells you that the parabola one will be more appropriate because it has least number than the linear one, or the least error than the linear one. So this is how you write it. So in conclusion, you can say that the summation, this one is less than the summation of, okay, hence the quadratic function is more appropriate to fit a line to the data. So since this one, the error here is less than this, then the quadratics here will be more appropriate to fit a line to this data. Thank you very much for